Still in Canberra, today the Immigration Minister Chris Bowen told caucus that negotiations are very well advanced on the so-called Malaysian solution, something we've been hearing now for quite a few weeks. On the ground in Asia, the jury's still out on whether the Malaysia solution will deter asylum seekers from heading to Australia. As the debate rages, in Indonesia, prosecutors are building a case against an Australian citizen accused of involvement in people smuggling. The man's a former refugee from Iraq and he was arrested on a trip to Jakarta in April. Here's Indonesia correspondent Matt Brown.
The hill towns south of Jakarta are steeped in misery and intrigue. Here, people smugglers ply their trade, attracting innocents and opportunists alike. It's this trade which has drawn an Australian citizen, Haidar Ali, all the way from his home in West Sydney to a police lockup in West Java.
I don't do this business, I don't take money from anyone, I go with them in the car, the police catch me.
Indonesia's anti-people smuggling task force says Haidar Ali was caught in early May, working with a known smuggler, preparing to send 32 people to Australia by boat.
He was caught in the act with foreigners from Iraq and Iran, who have testified that they paid these two men between $5,000 and $7,000 US to go to Christmas Island.
Haidar Ali says two members of his extended family were amongst the group bound for Australia. While he met them on arrival at the airport in Jakarta, Haidar Ali insists he came here just for a holiday.
They said we have someone to take us by boat. I tell them this danger, no good, you go this way.
Haidar Ali's story is all the more remarkable because he's dealt with people smugglers before. Like thousands of other Shiite Muslims, he was expelled from Iraq by Saddam Hussein in 1980 and sent to Iran. 20 years later, he fled to Indonesia, then paid a people smuggler to send him on this boat to Christmas Island in 2001.
Because in Iran we can't work, we can't buy home, we can't, children no school, and we can't travel. We have nothing. We have because no citizenship.
His experience of that voyage was not enough to stop his relatives trying to follow the same path.
I tell him, don't go this way, danger. I go this way, I see the shark, the engine is stopped in the way, no food, no water in the 4 days in water, very danger, maybe you will die. But they say because in Iran, the life no good, we have to go, or die, or same.
Witnesses say Haidar Ali played only a minor role in the latest venture, but a police source says his co-accused, a Kuwaiti-born Bedouin and refugee named Abdul Hudur, has international connections in the smuggling trade.
When we monitored them, we found that they travelled together to an area in West Java, which is known to be used by people smugglers.
That's just an accusation against me. They accused me. I didn't help them. I was just the driver who drove the car.
The smuggling plan was obviously well advanced, and the task force claims Australian federal agents have analysed mobile phones that link both men to another smuggler who's still at large.
We have them. We worked together with the Australian Federal Police. They helped us to download phone numbers. They are communication records between the syndicate.
Haidar Ali insists he's not a smuggler, and he claims that while he was offered a way out if he bribed the police, he can barely afford the basics. The two men are yet to be formally charged, and none of the evidence against them has been tested in open court. But if the case goes ahead, they face a maximum of 5 years in prison. Since Haidar Ali's arrest, new barriers have been thrown up to quash the people smuggling trade. Indonesia has enacted tough new laws, and the Gillard government has pledged to reject new arrivals, sending them away to be processed in Malaysia or elsewhere.
If you spend your money, you get on a boat, you risk your life, you don't get to stay. You go to Malaysia.
Refugees in Indonesia, like Nasir Hussain, are keenly monitoring the government's pledge, and he believes it could work.
But I think if this news be correct, I think the illegal way and smuggled way will be closed. You're sure? Because anybody don't give money to go to Australia and Australia send to Malaysia. He will go directly to Malaysia.
Nasir Hussain is a Kurd who fled Iran 2 years ago. He says he paid 2 people smugglers only to be swindled and then detained for 6 months.
We cannot working in here. We don't have identity card in here. We cannot do anything in here.
But now Nasir Hussain says he's happy to wait for an Australian humanitarian visa, and the less smuggling there is, the better.
Every day be updates.
The trouble is, the Gillard government's been unable to get its policy up and running. The whole affair is being translated via a popular refugee website.
And every day be updates, and we'll tell the news about the boat arrived to and Australian policy.
Even the opposition's criticism has amplified doubts about the deal.
Here writes that some party in Australia don't believe this role.
For now, the smugglers are telling their sceptical clients that this government is all talk and no action.
The smuggler claims because they didn't send anybody from Australia to Malaysia, it's wrong.
There's no doubt the smugglers are under increasing pressure. The People Smuggling Task Force has recorded a fall in the number of people detained en route to Australia since Julia Gillard's announcement.
With this new policy, it will no longer be desirable for people to pay smugglers, to be cheated by smugglers, to risk their lives in a journey using on such dangerous waters. All of this can be avoided.
The number of people reaching Australian waters has also recently declined. However, these figures fluctuate wildly.
The decrease may be caused by it, but we'll have to see. We can't just look at it for a month or so. A policy takes a while to observe.
So far, the government has failed to spread the word about its new policy amongst the asylum seekers, where it matters most.
In general, it is necessary to promote the policy in transit countries, in Indonesia and origin countries as well.
Everyone here, the smugglers, would-be passengers and police alike, are watching the next move closely.